I'm kind of a late bloomer, so to speak, because I'm already 38 years old, and I had my first show this April pa lang. But I did study art in IB in high school, grade 11 and 12, and then as an art as a higher level course na, not like normal school art and stuff. So like technique and stuff. And then when I was around 8, I think I went 8 or 9. My cousins used to have lessons in the house with Ted Kaha. He's a renowned artist who had already passed away, who liked to give kids lessons. So nagsaling po sa ako doon. So when I was younger, I liked it na, but like I said before, my heart was more musical theater talaga. Yeah, so it was mostly still in the arts, but I thought growing up that I would be a singer in the theater and not an artist. When I was doing the IIB program, we had to experiment with different mediums already and at least know the basics of it, so we get a feel of it and then eventually figure out what we wanted to do. But I was young and I wanted the easy way out, so I did mixed medium na lang. Although there was another guy in my class who used oil paint. So acrylic wasn't a huge thing back then, mostly oil paint. So he was using oil paint then, and I saw the way he used it, and then it was too late to switch mediums now because we were already toward the end of the 2 years. But I was already fascinated by it, and his use of texture, and that's when I decided na parang, okay, wow, I like this stuff. And then I would play around with watercolor first to get the hang of paint. And then eventually, toward the end of my college career, although I didn't take arts, I was doing lots of work using acrylic na, experimenting now with texture, experimenting now with impressionist styles and techniques. Yun. But it wasn't, it wasn't for a career, it was just hilig lang. Actually, all of my work is personal. I went through a series of changes in my life, being a mom, and then realizing that I'm being a single mom, and then being a single mom of a child with disability, and then being a single mom with a child with disability and ill fathers, stuff like that. So I stopped painting, and there was a lot of death in all sides of the family where it was sunod-sunod. It was about 3 or 4 years in sunod-sunod. And then my stepfather who raised me passed away, and a year and a month later my biological dad passed. So I went through this whole phase where I threw myself into whatever I needed to do, taking care of my mom, taking care of my son, and then I became president of the Rotary Club in Baguio North. So I was traveling everywhere and doing a lot of community work aside from being a mom and a daughter. And then after my term as president and things started to die down, then I felt it. And I said, oh, that's when the depression hit, the anxiety hit. Then I was questioning myself, ito na lang ba? This is my life. Kasi syempre, I'm in my late 30s na rin. So I've devoted my life thus far to my son and my family. So I said, baka ito na. And I was okay with that. But one day, I was in a craft store and I saw some paint and some supplies. And I said, so I grabbed some, thinking that I wouldn't even have the time to do it.
Yeah.
So I did one painting, which is inside, I'll show you. I did one painting and I wasn't impressed with myself because I was like, I did better work before, parang I was off, syempre, rusty.
Yeah.
It had been like 15 years or so since I picked up a brush. And I was a little bit discouraged, and I said, we'll see. But my son thought it was the best thing ever. My young boy was like, wow, Ma, you're an artist. Wow. And I was like, he was like, do another one. So I was encouraged to do more, and then it started to feel like therapy na, where it helped me remember also the girl I was before all the tragedy. Remember, because I lost myself somewhere along the way. Because of all the roles I had to play. I forgot how to be me. And I came back to that. And the reason why I don't like to use dark colors is because for a long time I've always felt so depressed and so down. So I paint what I want to feel. You know how they say dress the way you want to feel? I paint the way I want to feel. The painting stopped all the negative thoughts because I would focus on what I was doing. And focusing on what I was doing, I realized was me paving the way for my own future and finding my own place in the world. You know, at 30, gosh, I'm 38 now. I think I started painting when I was 30, again, 37 or 36. Diba? So kind of late in the game, but I wasn't expecting to become, to have a show. It was all very personal to me. So when I was encouraged to have a show, and then I had my first show this year, I said, maybe this is maybe this is what I'm meant to be doing. And then finding a good school for my son to help with his, which was the major problem, throughout how many years now, finding a good school and the support for him. But when I found it, which is recently now, I volunteered my time. I volunteered 3 months pro bono to teach art for high school. And then whatever proceeds that I still had from my first show went toward materials to teach. So I just finished my 3 months of volunteer work, and now I'm hired as the art teacher for middle school and high school now. But with the volunteer work, they just stayed in high school. So now I'm middle school and high school now. So it's kind of cool. So it's kind of, my son has always been my advocacy, especially when we found out about what's going on with him. That's why we were making jokes a while ago about disability. I said it's just everywhere. My son, doctors would say, because he was so young, so they didn't want to say that, oh, he has autism, oh, he has this. But they say, well, the impression is he has communication disorder. Impression is he has ADHD. So it was all impressions until he had his first grand mal seizure. And apparently the doctor said that he was born with epilepsy and he would have absent seizures where he'll just, but it's still a seizure.
Okay.
So, but we didn't know. Because, parang he's always spaced out, so we don't know anymore. Until he had the grand mal, that we realized that all his difficulties were because of the epilepsy. With me teaching there, it has become really something I've always wanted to do and I didn't think I would do. And then with art, dream come true. Teachers don't make a lot of money, but I'm fulfilled.